Okay, student. Today I am going to discuss about the second part of evolution, that is the evolutionary theory. So, very first in the evolutionary theory is Lamarckism. Jean-Baptiste de Lamarck gives theories of evolution called the theory of use and disuse. According to this theory, the ecological condition in which an organism lives causes it to have certain needs. The needs are made by modification of old organs or by production of new rudimentary organs. By continual use of these rudimentary structures, they increases in size and functional capacity, and by disuse they may degenerate and become lost. Character changes brought by the environment during the life of an individual become hereditary and thus can be transmitted to the next generation. So here is the classic examples of how long neck giraffe evolved from the short neck giraffe. So originally short necked ancestor giraffe is keep stretching the neck to reach the higher leaves on the tree, and their neck is continuously stretching, which is being hereditary character and become transmitted to the new generation and become progressively longer, and that's why the long neck nowadays giraffe is being produced. So that is the theory of Lamarckism. So another theory, that is the very most popular theory, that is being given by the Charles Robert Darwin, proposed and provided scientific evidence of his theories of evolution in his very famous books, The Origin of Species, in 1859, which states the following: variation exists among individual of species. The scarcity of resources in a rapidly growing population would lead to competition between individuals of the same species because all are using same resources. That is known as struggle for existence. Such competition would lead to the death of some individual while other would survive. Therefore, the individual with advantageous variations are survive than those lacking the advantageous variation. That is known as survival of the fittest. The individual with advantageous variations are selected in nature by a process called natural selection and reproduce in higher rate and evolve. That means the natural selection is the cause of evolution. The advantageous variation inherited through many generations that increases the chance of an organism to survive in a particular environment is called adaptation. So according to the Darwin theory, in very earlier time, both long neck and short neck, both type of giraffe are exist. When the tree branches are become higher, only the long neck giraffe are able to take their foods, therefore they will survive, and the short neck giraffes are gradually eliminated from the environment. So therefore the long neck giraffes are evolved from the combination of both long neck and short neck giraffe. So there is another theory is also there, that is known as the neo-Darwinism. According to this theory, although mutation is recognized as the ultimate source of genetic variation, natural selection is given the dominant role in shaping the genetic makeup of populations and in the process of gene substitution. Now, the evidence of evolution. The very common evidence of evolution is being observed from the homologous structure. Homologous structures are structures that are derived from a common ancestor. Even if they are superficially different, they are developmentally related. Homology does not mean that this structure must share the same function. From the comparative anatomy study, it becomes evident that similar structural elements are present across functionally diverse group of species, supporting the common ancestry. For example, the hopping arm of the frog contains the same bone as our own arm, but the frog's arms are highly modified to fulfill a different function, that is the hopping. Now the analogous structure. Structure that are superficially similar even though the organisms are completely unrelated to one another. This structure may even serve the same function like flying and described as analogous structure. The wing of bird and the wing of insect are best examples of analogous structure. In every physical and biological way, these wings are different from one another. One is flat, plain exoskeletal material. The other is chordate forelimb shaped into an airfoil with hollow internal bones and outer covering of feathers. But they can both be used to fly. So here is the examples. So finally, the homologous structure therefore support the hypothesis of evolutionary homology, that common structural organization result from common ancestry. The analogous structure also support the evolutionary homology concept, as they indicate that design is not necessarily constrained. That means a functional part of an individual can be made by more than one way. So next on, the pattern of evolution. The first is convergent evolution. The unrelated animal often develop same kind of structure because these structural forms best suits them in the environment where they lived. This type of evolution is called convergent evolution. Example, shark and dolphin both lived in an underwater. One of them is fish and other is mammals. But due to selective pressure in the same ecological niche, they both develop streamlined shapes. Analogous structures are formed due to convergent evolution, right? The next is divergent evolution. When two or more species originally developed from the common ancestor evolved and accumulate new characteristics and significantly differ from each other, this type of evolution is called divergent evolution. Changes in environmental condition, availability of new niche, increased and decreased pressure of competition and predation, etc., are the driving force of divergent evolution, where similar species gets more and more dissimilar. Example, the same bones in different species, human, horse, cat, bat, bird, whale, etc., can be used for different purposes. So divergent evolution is the driving force to create homologous structures. Next on, the coevolution. The term coevolution is used to describe cases where two or more species reciprocally affect each other's evolution. So for example, an evolutionary changes in the morphology of the plant might affect the morphology of an herbivore that eats the plant, which in turn might affect the evolution of the plant, which might affect the evolution of the herbivore, and so on. Coevolution is likely to happen when different species have close ecological interaction with one another. This ecological relationship include predator, prey, and parasite host, or competitive species or mutualistic species interaction. Examples of very good examples of coevolution is good evidence for insect plant coevolution is found in the Central American plant known as Balshrun acacia, Acacia cornigera. This plant is similar to other member of the genus Acacia, that is known as the thorn trees in the pea family, in that it has large spine which presumably protect it against mammalian herbivore. However, it lacks the cyanogenic glycoside found in related acacia, and the thorns in the species are particularly large and hollow and provide shelter to a species of Pseudomyrmex ant. The plant also provides proteinaceous food bodies on the tips of the leaflet which sustain the ant colonies. It has been shown experimentally that the ant will also remove any caterpillar from the leaves that they patrol. The ant even remove vines and plants from around the base of the tree, creating a bare patch on the soil. Plant of the Balshrun acacia which have not been occupied by the ant colonies are heavily attacked by the herbivores and often have vines growing in the branches. Now the parallel evolution. Parallel evolution refer to the evolutionary process wherein two or more related species in the same environment develop similar adaptation or characteristic. Okay, look here I am telling that the related species, emphasizing the related species. When two or more related species in the same environment develop similar adaptation or characteristic, and this evolution caused the parallel evolution. Example, North American cactus and the African euphorbia that develop similar adaptation, which is their thick stems and sharp quills to survive the hot and arid climates. These two plant species are of different plant families but live in the same type of environment. The parallel evolution is similar to convergent evolution, but the main difference is that parallel evolution, the two species have relatively recent common ancestor. In divergent evolution, that means the two same kind of organism or same species, due to the different ecological niche or environment, develop two different species S and T. In parallel evolution, the related species, that is A and A, in the same environment producing same kind of evolution and producing same kind of species, that is S and S, that is known as the parallel evolution. But in convergent evolution, two distantly related individual A and T, because of their same environment producing same kind of species or same kind of structure, that is known as the S and S, that is the thing of convergent evolution. Now, adaptive radiation. Natural selection can ultimately lead to the formation of new species. Sometimes many species evolve from a single ancestral species. Look, single ancestral species leads to the formation of many more species, that is known as the adaptive radiation. Such an evolutionary pattern in which many related species evolve from a single ancestral species is called adaptive radiation. Adaptive radiation most commonly occur when a species of organism successfully invade an isolated region where few competing species exist. If new habitats are available, new species will evolve. The very classic example has been found in Galapagos finches, also known as the Darwin finches, distinctive group of bird. This Darwin finch or Galapagos finch are a distinctive group of bird whose radiation into several ecological niches in the competition-free isolation of the Galapagos Island, which is situated in the South America but have never been connected with mainland. There are 14 species of finches on the island, each filling a different niche on the island. All of them evolved from one ancestral species which colonized the island only a few millions years ago. This process, whereby species evolved rapidly to exploit empty spaces, is an example of adaptive radiation. So, this is the uh, theories of the evolution, pattern of evolution we have discussed so far. So in the next classes we have some other part of the evolution that has been discussed. Okay, thank you.